Alright guys, it's a great pre-spawn area. I'm real excited because conditions are perfect. I haven't wet a lure yet, but conditions are perfect. Maybe just a little bit more current in here, but other than that, everything looks perfect. So hopefully we catch some good ones. A lot of them. Stay tuned.
So recently in Tennessee, the weather's been up and down. It's been cold, and then we'll have some warm days, cold again, warm days. But we've had a couple warm days together, and the weather was perfectly setting up for these fish to be pushing into this area, this pre-spawn area. We had southwest winds with an approaching front, perfect for a good bite.
Here we go. First one. Nice keeper. I got him on a gambler speed crawl. Kind of like the Zoom ultraviolet speed crawl. And I have it on a driftwood S3 hook. These hooks are awesome, guys. First fish.
As a side note, if you're fishing below a dam, if they start generating or open a lock, that water will rise quickly. So make sure you put your equipment further enough up on the bank so you don't get swamped.
Old flippy doodad, it don't discriminate. Drum was sniffing it. Thought I had a giant on for a second. Always get me every time. I think I have a big bass on for a second, and it just gives right up.
As you're dragging this flippy doodad rig, if it seems to get hung up on the bottom, just raise your rod tip just like this and pop it. And a lot of times it'll pop free, and a lot of times you'll get a bite right just then.
Oh my, that's a bigger one. It's turning into a drum fest here. Golly, well, it's like they're nosing down at it. Look at the stinking size of this thing. Look at that. That's a pretty big drum. There's the night. was a 27-inch drum. Flippy doodad. Lord, that was a. I was hoping that was gonna be a bass. Kind of knew right away, though he wasn't fighting like a bass. So, oh well, it's fun to catch anyway.
Now, before I went out here to fish, I went by Talking Tackle and bought some Scrounger heads and some flukes to go on them. And I figured that might be the bite, and I was right. Now guys, if you've never fished this lure, you're missing out. Especially this time of year, it can really catch some good fish, and you can have some real fast action as well.
So it's on a Scrounger head. This one's made by Lucky Strike. And all I do is put a little fluke on the back of it. Super fluke, pinched off the tail so it wiggles better. Bit off a little part of the head so it fits smoother on there. Works great. Here's a keeper. Small keeper, but it's a keeper nonetheless. So catch another.
I had the half-ounce Scrounger head on my heavier setup. I also tied a small 1/8 ounce Scrounger head on a light action rod and reel. And the great things about these baits are that they will catch just about anything that swims.
Come on, little guy. Look at that. First cast with this the tiny Scrounger. I wanted to see it, I never tried one, so I wanted to try it. Look at that, aquarium size. Man, look at this. Top my other one. Check out this thing. Look at that. Oh, a little spot. That's awesome. I don't care. I don't care who you are. That's awesome.
The reason why I stuck with the little Scrounger for a little bit was because I wanted to see what was swimming through here. I knew a lot of types of fish were in the pre-spawn mode, and I kind of wanted to see what was present in this stream. Thing is with these little Scroungers though, they will get big bites, and I have a light action rod, so it took me a little while to get this one in.
Oh my goodness. Well, I think it's safe to say they're playing drumming here. Look at that. Tiny bait, catch big fish too. Not the right kind, but it will catch.
What I try to do with these scroungers is cast them out as far as I can and let them sink to the bottom. And then I'll do a slow pulling motion with my rod tip, reel up the slack, and pull again. And I'll do that over and over again so I can feel the thump, and then I can feel if anything changes that thump, and that's when I set the hook.
Now I'll catch a channel catfish. Look at that. Same scrounger. It's a pretty one.
I'm going to take a second just to show you exactly how to rig this lure up. There are some critical steps that you need not miss. Make sure you stick around because soon thereafter I really get into them good. Alright guys, let me show you real quick how I rig these up, okay? Now it is critical. First you want to check to make sure that collar, that plastic collar here is nice and straight, okay? That it's not warped, because if it's warped at all, it won't run right. It will spin, it'll just spin right around. What you want is it just to do this motion here, okay? It's gonna go back and forth like that, and it will make that bait just shimmy, okay? Now, there's lots of different types of baits. These Zoom really seem to work well for me. So these also, you want to make sure like that's not good. You see how that tail's all bent? Okay, so you want to get as straight a bait as you can, okay? Now the other thing is, that tail, I like to pinch it off because it seems to affect the, when it's going through the water and rotating like this, it seems to twist it too much if there's too much on there. So I'll just pinch that part off, okay? Then I'll pinch off a little bit of this head because as you can see, that tapers down. It doesn't fit very well against that lead head, okay? So what I'll do is I'll bite off a little piece of that, about that much, okay? And that way it will sit more flush against there. Now this is the critical part, okay? When you thread this onto your hook, you need to make sure it's perfectly straight, okay? Now these have that little ridge under the bottom, so that will help you, okay? It has that little indentation, so you can take this through as straight as you can, right down the center, okay? And I can come out that groove in the middle, on the bottom, okay? All right, now I'm going to turn this. I'm going to make sure that when you thread this up onto here, this keeps it pretty well. You wouldn't think without a barb it would keep, but it does. So I'm going to push that up there, and I'm going to see where this lines up, and that's where I'm going to push through with the hook. Mark it with my thumb, push right through the very center, and then let it rest, okay? You see how that's nice and straight?
So when that goes through the water, it's going to shimmy and it will stay nice and straight and it will swim right. You should just come back and forth like that. You should feel a thump, and that bait will shimmy like this, and that's what will get those strikes for you. Okay? Now, if you don't have a groove here, you just need to make sure that you thread it perfectly straight right through the center of that, or it will not swim right. Any deviation there will make it swim funny or make it twist, and you won't have the action you need. You'll get twist in your line, and you won't get the attention of the fish as well. Rig you up some. Trust me, they catch fish. They'll catch stripers, catfish, they catch everything. So rig them up, enjoy yourself. Try one more little area. I can get some casts. See if we can't get some.
So I decided to move down just a little bit further, about 30 yards, just out of casting distance of my last spot. And it's amazing what such a small change will do. I like to throw this heavier Scrounger head on a bit heavier setup. The 7.6 heavy action or medium heavy action rod does well. Pair it up with a faster reel, 7.1 to even 8-to-1 gear ratio, with 15 to 20 pound test fluorocarbon line. Because when the big ones hit, they will straight knock slack into your line.
Look at that smallmouth. Right. Check that out. Nice river smallmouth. Man, look at that. Beautiful. Scrounger head. I love it. This thing catches them, man. Look at that. How gorgeous is that? God. Oh, look at that. Oh my word, that's gorgeous. "19 inches. Beautiful. My favorite catch by far. I don't know why, but man, I love that thing. Love smallmouth. Check that out. Hybrid. Scrounger. Nice little, I guess it's a white bass hybrid. I don't know, one of those two. All right, hit it right at my feet. Man, that's fun. There's another good smallmouth. Check it out. Golly, they are pounding this scrounger, dude. That's 3 consecutive casts. Yes, sir. Oh, love it. Love it. Oh my gosh. Look at that! Look at that! Look at that smallmouth! Holy cow, it's Scrounger. He hammered it. Look at the size of that thing. That's a big fish right there. Woo! Oh man. That's 20.5 inches long, 14-inch girth. Beautiful. All right. I gotta get release of this. Man, what a fish. Look at that thing. There we go. Oh, it bite my thumb. Look at that. All right, let's get some more.
Oftentimes they would hit this lure on the very end of a long cast, and they would hit it so hard that it would knock a bunch of slack into the line. So you needed that long rod and that fast gear ratio in order to pick up enough line to get a hook in these fish.
Another one. That's good 18 inches, I'm sure. On that scrounger. I might get him back in the water because I got that gill all weird.
Now I love fishing out in the middle of nowhere where there's not a person in sight, when it's just you, God, and nature. But I must admit, I do like fishing in these industrial areas. You got a train passing overhead, you got a lock, the dam, current, and other people to share the moment with. All highlighted by an amazing backdrop of a beautiful sunset. It just doesn't get much better.
back to that Scrounger, trying some other things. Thought maybe it would be something else that would catch him, but nope. Back to the Scrounger. Just a little guy this time, but I'll take him. Let's move down just a little bit. See if the fish have moved down. Won't be too far, just a little bit. I've got to get a cast close to that boat. We just moved down just a little bit and boom, there they were. Good too. You ain't going nowhere. Look at that. Beautiful thing. Fat. He's a good 18 inches, sure. Let's measure him. Yep, 18 inches on the money. Boom. Nice. Let's get another. Go. That's another. Not a keeper. Probably 16 inches though. 15 or 16. I'll take it. Yeah, that was a good call. Come down here, started waxing them. I think I might try to throw jerk baits for a little bit. I gotta go. My wife's gonna be mad at me. Alright guys, let me show you what I caught them on today. At least my best ones. Throwing Scrounger, the Lucky Strike Scrounger. And I believe this is a 1/2 ounce. I don't think it even says it on there. Yeah, 1/2 ounce. Okay, there's the cheapest ones I could find. $6 for those, 2 of them. And then all I did was put Zoom Super Fluke on there. Salty Super Fluke. Pro Blue Red Pearl. And that got the job done. So, awesome. Great day.
And until next time, guys, tight lines.
I don't care who you are, that's awesome.